Hi, this is Waco criminal defense attorney Walter Reeves. In a previous video, we talked about what we look for to determine if you have a post-conviction case that we might be able to help with. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the issues that can be raised in an application for habeas corpus. So before I get into the topic of today's video, I need to repeat what I said in the previous video. This is what's called an extraordinary remedy. That means that it has to be something serious, and it has to be something that could have changed the outcome of the proceeding. So what are considered serious issues? One is newly available evidence. And this just isn't any evidence that has been newly discovered. It has to be something that could not have been located earlier. Now, this kind of evidence might be scientific evidence, such as new DNA testing, or it might be a witness who comes forward with new information or even takes back what they said before. It might even be evidence that was not turned over to the defense before trial or a plea by the prosecution. I want to emphasize that the issues have to be something that was not seen or heard before or could have been raised before. For example, you might be convinced that some evidence should not have been introduced at your trial. If the issue was raised on a direct appeal, you can't argue it again in an application for habeas corpus. If you had an appeal and you didn't raise it, you also can't raise it now because it's going to be considered waived. One of the most common claims is ineffective assistance of counsel. You're basically saying that you didn't have a good lawyer. I want you to know that this is also one of the hardest claims to win. There are two things you have to establish to win an ineffective assistance claim. One, you have to prove that your lawyer did something or didn't do something a reasonably competent lawyer would or would not have done. And the second is that you have to prove you were prejudiced as a result. The last part is important. All lawyers make mistakes, and most of those won't change the outcome. It's only those mistakes that are serious that will result in relief. These are the type of things that we look for. Did your lawyer fail to raise a legal issue? Did they fail to pursue a legitimate defense? Or did they fail to present evidence that could have changed the outcome? I mentioned earlier that these are some of the hardest cases to win. I want you to know that they aren't impossible to win. With 40 plus years of criminal defense experience, I know what to look for when evaluating these types of cases. If you want to put our experience to work for you or a loved one, please give us a call. And if you found this useful, please share it with your friends.